The Assembly will hear an address by His Excellency Maithripala Sirsena, President of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka. I request protocol to escort His Excellency. On behalf of the General Assembly, I have the honor to welcome to the United Nations His Excellency Maithripala Sirsena, President of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, and to invite him to address the Assembly.
Good evening to all of you. His Excellency the President, Excellencies, His Excellency the Secretary General of the United Nations, distinguished guests. It is my greatest pleasure to congratulate the newly elected President and start my speech at the 72nd session of the United Nations General Assembly. In fact, it is indeed a great honor to address this annual assembly for the third time as the leader of Sri Lanka. The theme of the 72nd session of the United Nations General Assembly is focusing on striving for peace and decent life for all in a sustainable planet. Today, if we look at the different scenarios that we see in the world arena, I consider this theme to be highly pertinent. In year 2015, I was elected the President of Sri Lanka. Before that, I made a number of pledges before the people of my country. At that juncture, Sri Lanka's executive presidency had been vested with more power than any other democratic system in the world had hitherto entrusted in the executive. Since I came to power, these excessive powers of the executive presidency were transferred to Parliament. This was my pledge a leader transferring such excess of power to another organ while he was in power, a leader giving up such powers, I believe, sets an example to my country as well as the world regarding letting go of power. As countries, as the leaders who come into power in democratic countries, we must safeguard democracy, we must work towards building a just society, we must wield our power to do this. However, if we look at the past few decades and if we look at world history, we can see that many leaders who come into power are reluctant to let go of power. And this results in discord and disruption of peace in countries, and it could lead to various divisions at the international level as well. These are very important historical facts and principles which we can see in the international level. I have established democracy in my country, and I have taken action to get rid of political groups which were moving towards autocracy. I have guaranteed democracy, safeguarded human rights, nurtured fundamental rights during the past 2.5 years. This I bring to the attention of this assembly. Year 2017 was named by my government as the year for alleviation of poverty. In order to free our country from the clutches of poverty, a great effort is being made. I believe the entire world is engaged in such an endeavor. Thus, we named year 2017 the year for alleviation of poverty, and we embarked on a number of development programs to strengthen the domestic economy. As you very well know, Sri Lanka suffered a protracted war. Sri Lanka suffered a protracted conflict which crippled the country's economy. This lasted for 30 years. The terrorists who had separatist ideologies wreaked havoc in the country, but we were able to defeat them, establish democracy, and govern the country as a peaceful country. This economic disadvantage resulted in many detrimental effects to the country. Today, we have learnt lessons from this, and we are working towards strengthening the domestic economy, promoting local industries, and promoting industrialization in order to achieve economic development while achieving sustainable development goals. We believe that sustainable development should be given priority in engaging in these activities. Not only my country, if we look at the world, including the United States of America, is affected by unprecedented climate and weather conditions. Agreements made at the Paris United Nations Climate Change Conference, I believe, is very important. And therefore, when we look at these changes happening in climate and weather, we can say that implementing the Paris Agreement would be essential for the continuation of humanity as well as the world in general. In the National Program for Alleviation of Poverty, I have launched a new program named Grama Shakti. Furthermore, we have a very clear vision and a plan for the upliftment of the country's economy. We want to strengthen the local economy, we want to develop local agriculture, and we want to take the country in a new direction and continue the economic plan for 2025 with vigor. We hope to bring about changes in the economy through this. Furthermore, Honorable President, I must say that not only my country, but in countries the world over, children are faced with many problems. In my country, in order to safeguard children, I have launched a national program to safeguard children. We have a mammoth task ahead of us to safeguard our children from the drug menace, abuse. Therefore, protection of children is a matter of national as well as international importance. Therefore, implementing programs for this end is essential. Furthermore, the world speaks about protection of women's rights. A lot of attention is focused to this topic. In certain societies, we see how women are not treated well. In my country, over 52% of the population of my country are women. Safeguarding the rights of women has been guaranteed by amendments made to the Constitution, whereby 25% quota has been made mandatory for women in the local government elections as per the new amendments that have been passed. Safeguarding children, safeguarding the rights of women, and prevention of the drug menace are some of the major programs that we have launched. We know that there is a need for an expansive international level program for the prevention and control of the drug menace. In every country, in every society, prevention and control of the drug menace has become a major challenge. And I believe that all of humanity must join hands together and come up with a joint program. And we must all embark on a joint journey to achieve this end. Furthermore, I must say that in year 2015, when my government came into power, we faced two major problems. One was the foreign debt crisis that the country was facing. Large sums of money was needed to repay credit that had been obtained. Furthermore, allegations of human rights violations were taken up at the Human Rights Commission of the United Nations. United Nations UNHRC resolutions were bringing about serious concerns to the then government. However, we have worked towards strengthening the country's local economy, and we have worked towards attracting foreign investments. With these programs, we are successfully paying off. We have plans to pay off these loans which have been obtained. The United Nations Human Rights Council, like I mentioned earlier, had passed resolutions regarding allegations of human rights violations. Our government is now taking these into consideration, and we are giving priority to resolve and settle these problems. Establishing democracy, safeguarding human rights, protecting fundamental rights, and nurturing them are the three main pillars based on which my government has been governing the country successfully and creating and working towards the creation of a democratic society. And in future too, as a government, we will continue to strengthen these elements. We have worked towards strengthening national reconciliation. People speaking different languages, people following different faiths live in my country. We want to create brotherhood among them and alleviate hatred and suspicion and mistrust among these different groups. We want to create a society that is free of such problems. Therefore, on one hand, we have worked towards strengthening country's economy, thereby promoting economic prosperity. On the other hand, we want to create a country with discipline, a country with higher morals. Here, rule of law is of importance. Establishing and assuring rule of law is a major task that my government has given priority. Under such circumstances, His Excellency the President, I must say that on one hand we are strengthening democracy, on the other hand we are promoting human rights, nurturing fundamental rights, and we are maintaining amicable relations with different countries, as we know that a gulf had been created between Sri Lanka and the powerful allies and its powerful allies. But today we have continue to maintain good relations with these countries, and the kind assistance of the United Nations is highly appreciated in this endeavor. As a member of the United Nations, we completed almost 62 years. We have followed their rules and regulations. We have complied to their conventions, treaties, and agreements. As a country that has a track record of such adherence, as a member of the United Nations, we want to continue these relations. I want to ensure that independence and sovereignty of my country is safeguarded in all that we do. Various allegations have been leveled at us. In handling these allegations, in dealing with these problems, we have to move very slowly. We have to move with utmost care at a slow pace. Some certain extremist elements expect a fast pace. They want quick solutions. They want fast solutions. They want short-term solutions. However, ours is a country affected by a war that dragged on for 30 years. Ours is a country in which people were divided. We want to create peace and unity. We want to promote brotherhood among our people. We want to eliminate thoughts of hatred, suspicion, and mistrust. In order to do this and build up my loving country, and promote and create a prosperous economy. Your assistance is of paramount importance. That is why I say that ours is a slow and steady pace, and for this we appeal to your assistance. I believe that a rapid pace would be perilous at this juncture. A fast solution, a quick solution, as expected by certain extremist elements, might not be the answer to the complex problems that lie before us. I believe that you all would agree with me in this. We want to ensure that a war does not recur. We want to promote brotherhood in the country, non-recurrence of war, promotion of brotherhood among different groups that speak different languages, that follow different faiths is the objective of my government. And I respectfully appeal to the United Nations and all nations to extend their support for us to realize these goals. We want to promote economic prosperity, democracy, non-recurrence of war, and we want to establish democracy and set an example to other nations of the world. And I requesting your assistance to reach these goals. Congratulating His Excellency the President and His Excellency the Secretary General, I wind up my speech. May the Noble Triple Gem bless you.
General Assembly, I wish to thank the President of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka for the statement just made. May I request representatives to remain seated while we greet the head of state.